Okay, there we go. All right, good. So the recording is on, and I think there will be more people coming, but I did get notes from 4 people who have had stuff happen at the last minute, which is frustrating and a shame for them, especially the one that is most made me have to put on my pivot shoes and dance the pivot dance.
Oh.
Mama Red, who is supposed to be our
No.
Playmate Inspirer, is not feeling well, so she won't be here. I will be covering for her, which is fine because I can do it, but I'm disappointed that you won't be hearing her perspective on the topic because, you know, you guys hear me blah, blah, blah all the time. And so I've kind of pulled together, I pulled it together at the literally at the last minute. So hopefully it'll be good. And if not, you know, it is what it is. Pivoting is my thing. I can do it on a dime. So I will be looking down at my thing here though, so I can keep us on time. I wanted to just mention a few things. We are recording this so the people who aren't here will be able to hear it as well. I will be sending it out to everybody who is a playmate in the play shop, which right now is everybody on the screen except Teddy. And thank you, Teddy, for joining us. This is great. Invited by Dee. So I really appreciate you inviting more people, because I think that the more people we have, the better it'll be. The more co-creation we can have, the better it is. And so welcome. I'm really glad you're here, and I hope you come back. And I hope you sign up for the full Playhouse too, or Play Shop too. That would be awesome. So with the Play Shop, I have been working on the Playhouse, and it's just about ready to go, meaning that that is our membership site. And I've posted all of the, well, not all, I got one today. I've posted the profiles that have been sent to me. So there are 3 or 4 up. By the end of today, there'll be definitely 4 up. Jenny just sent hers in. So that's a place on the membership site where you will be able to, it's in the rumpus room, and you will be able to go in there and see who everybody is, what they're doing, what they're looking for, what they have to offer, all kinds of good information, and all of their contact information is in there. Their emails, there may be phone numbers in there if they've said they wanted the phone number in for texting or phone. The social media connections, if they have Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or any of the other social media links, those are in there. Victoria, you were so cute. Victoria puts in her profile under social media, Susan, question mark, question mark, question mark, because Victoria has an Instagram account and a Facebook page, and
you do?
She doesn't even know it.
I don't know how to use it.
Don't know how to use it. That's why she's here. So today will be very helpful. And the next several weeks, because Facebook is gigantic and Instagram is owned by Facebook. And so Instagram and Facebook are connected. There's so much to learn, but we're going to take it in little tiny bites so that you don't get overwhelmed. And there's, so that's the profiles are in the rumpus room in the Playhouse, which is the membership site. I will put the password to the membership site in our Facebook group. So there's a Posting with Purpose Facebook group that the members have access to. And there's all kinds of good stuff in there. And that is a place that it's a great place to ask questions of me or anybody else. If you're stumped by something, you can be sure that somebody else is stumped by it too. So put your question in the Facebook group, and that way you will get help and answers. And so I will put the password to get into the membership site in there. And that inside the membership site, which is called the Playhouse, you'll be able to find the rumpus room where everybody's connections are, and the library. And the library also has all of the recorded Boomer Zoomer calls, plus a lot more. I've been stocking up the library with other things that you may enjoy looking at. There's Mama Red did she and I did a kitchen table chat about your why several years ago. I think it's got to be maybe 6-7 years ago. And I recorded that, and I have that in the library. So if you want to hear more about your why, that's there. I also put Simon Sinek's TED Talk there. Do you have a question? Unmute.
Yeah, am I muted?
Now
Okay.
you're fine.
When you said that about your why, could you just explain for Teddy's sake because that concept took me so long to understand.
Yes.
Teddy, I'll just tell you, Susan wouldn't let me do anything until I gave her, why do I want to do this thing on social media? And I had to really get clear about the reason, and it was quite a bit of effort and worth it. So anyway, just because you said it really fast, I just wanted to make sure that landed for her. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, thank you. And I'll go back. I'll rewind. Part of being a Play Shop member, a Playmate, you get the book that I wrote called the Playbook. And the Playbook, I give it out chapter by chapter every week. So this past Sunday, I sent out chapter 3, but chapter 1 is all about your why. And your why is defining your core values. And this is your personal core values, but that also relates to whatever creative endeavor you are embarked upon. So if you're writing a book, your why or your core values will show up somehow in that book. If you are an artist and you're working on a body of work, your why, your core values will show up in that body of work somehow. Same thing if you're running a business, because your business core values and how you run your business definitely reflect your own personal core values. So the chapter 1 was all about the why. And one of my super mentors, Simon Sinek, did a great TED Talk, probably 10 years ago, called, what was it called? Something about your why. And it is phenomenal. So I put that TED Talk, the video of it is in the library. Or if you're not a shop Playmate, you can go on to YouTube and just Google or not Google, but put in the search bar of YouTube, Simon Sinek, S-I-M-O-N-S as in Sam, I-N-E-K, Y, W-H-Y, and you'll get a selection of his work about the why. And so he's done multiple TED Talks. Any of them they're all the same talk. So just pick one and watch it, because it'll really help you understand why I'm so hung up on the why. What Simon Sinek says, and this is so true. I mean, this is like golden rule. People don't care what you do or what you sell or what you've written or what people don't care about the what. They care about why you do it. And so when we are posting and we have a purpose for being online and being on the internet, using social media, we need to know why, what our own personal why is, and how that relates to why we are posting, and what we are posting will follow. So the why is real important. Chapter 2 was all about your vision. And your vision is how you see what you're doing out in the future. Now, what you're doing has to be related to your why. So your vision is connected to your core values. Project it out, big picture. Chapter 3 was about your mission. Your mission is how you're doing what you're doing, how you're going to accomplish your vision. So you can see they're all connected. It's like a string of pearls, and you have to start with the why. That's what it's called. That's Simon Sinek's thing. It's called Start with the Why. So watch that video. So you start with the why, then it's vision, mission. Mission is how you're going to do it. And then the next chapter, the one that we are on today, is who. You have to know who you're trying to reach. Who do you want to enchant and have come to you? And that brings up my other big mentor, which is Guy Kawasaki. He's my gigantic, both he and Simon Sinek are so right on with the way that I think marketing should be, because they're all about, and Guy's word for it is enchanting people. It's being authentic, being so on track with your why, your vision, and your mission, and putting out there into the world, communicating all of that so that you attract and you enchant exactly the right people that will gladly pay for what value you have to give. That's what marketing is. So we have to be really clear about who we want to attract. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And I was really hoping that Mama Red would be talking about it, but instead you're going to get me. So that's a little recap of what the playbook is all about. I really believe that before we start posting around on Facebook or on Instagram or on Twitter or on any of those things, we have to be really clear about our purpose, why we want to do this. And so we're not getting all overwhelmed with trying to do something that makes no sense. And you can spend a whole lot of time on Facebook doing nothing, or just getting so overwhelmed with everything that there is to do, which is purposeless. So looks like Shara popped in. That's good. Hi, Shara. Oh, and you're out of bed. Yay. Okay.
My bad.
So we're kind of off
Wow.
track here today, Shara, because my guest canceled and I'm filling in, and so I'm kind of flummoxed, but we're doing okay. And also Teddy is joining us, so I kind of recapped what we're all about. Okay, so back to my agenda. The Facebook group I talked about. Oh, emails. Has anybody not been getting all the emails from me? Only Kim. I did a bit of research today when Stephanie told me you weren't getting my emails. And I've been sending out a lot. I mean, it's like every other day I send out an email with other stuff. I think it's your Hotmail. And I think it's our dear friend Microsoft. Hotmail is owned by Microsoft. And so you have to go into your Outlook settings and make sure that, and I know nothing of, I am not a PC person. And I use Microsoft for Microsoft Word, and that's about it. So I don't know anything about Outlook, but you have to go into Outlook and figure out why you're blocking me. Co-creation champion is being blocked, and I think it may be because there are attachments in the email, and Microsoft does not want you to get my emails. So hopefully we'll get that corrected, because I've been sending out everything in email, and I'm sad that you haven't been able to get them. So I covered that, emails, membership site, the password, the group. Okay.
Susan, can I ask you a question? Real quick. I sent Kim I sent her the stuff for today, your email, and I have Outlook Express, and mine comes in, but mine's set up to receive emails, and I think you got mine. Is that right, Kim? So I don't know what the problem is. Obviously, I'm like the worst techie on the planet. So,
Well,
I'll check it out.
So but you got mine, right?
Yeah.
So it went from Outlook to Outlook, or Outlook to her, whatever your address is, to Hotmail.
Yeah. And I also check my
Okay,
junk
that's all.
mail, and I also can change it so it's not junk, or I can unblock it. I never blocked it. So I'll find out and get fixed.
And maybe in the
Thanks.
interim, until we get it figured out, maybe Stephanie, why don't you just forward everything I send? Just forward it to Kim, and that way she'll
Thank
get
you.
it.
Okay.
You know? I don't
Thank
want
you.
her to miss
Yeah,
out.
I'll just do it automatically.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Okay, I'll do that.
so next week will be the 4th Boomer Zoomer call, but I'm getting my second COVID shot on Wednesday. I do not know how I'm going to feel, and so I feel more comfortable skipping next Friday, resuming on the 19th, just so that I will be 100%, especially if I end up having to do this kind of thing where I'm substituting for somebody. So I'll send out all that information, but just know that we're going to skip next week. Now, for those of you who did the 4-week trial, that will be the last call on the 19th. The calls are always free. The meetups are free no matter what. But if you want to stay part of the play shop and get all the other stuff, you'll have to renew or sign up for the year program. Dee's already signed up and Victoria's already signed up, but I think that the rest of you did the trial. So just know that that is coming up. And I'll remind you again. Okay, the last bit of housekeeping is the workshop that I have planned. I was going to do it in March, but I've decided to push it out until April. And it will be on April 19th, Wednesday, from 10 o'clock until 1 o'clock, 3 hours. And it's masterminding in the brilliant zone. And so this is going to be an interactive, co-creative, intensive workshop, also recorded, but to participate, to actually get to play around with each other, you have to be there. This is a $47 workshop, but if you're signed up as a Play Shop member, you get it for free. So you guys that have signed up as to be in the Play Shop, you can come and get a recording for free. Because I've pushed it out into April, all of you here can come for free, even if you don't sign up to continue with the Play Shop. I sure hope you do sign up to continue with the Play Shop, but you can get in for free. I would absolutely love you to help me invite people, because I want to move into my new office. And in order to move into my new office, I need to get 10 people paying $47 to come to this workshop. And so I will be sending you more information about that. And if you can help me with the outreach to get people to sign up, that would be super. More about that later.
Susan, Susan,
Mhm.
I just want to mention the 19th of April happens to be on a Monday.
Oh, I must have the wrong day then. Let me look at my calendar. It's like this, the second, I believe it's the second Wednesday. So what is that date?
So it'd be
April
the 14th.
The 14th, okay. My
14th.
mistake. The 19th is
Not a
the
problem.
change for the
Good.
14th. The 14th is second.
Okay,
I'll
so
be doing this on the
Wednesday,
second Wednesday of April. And I will be doing another
and you said 10 to 1?
10 to 1, yes.
It's 10
And
to
it's-
1
yes.
on the 14th. Okay,
10
thank
to
you.
1. And
Can I ask a question about it? Susan, can I ask one more question about the program, the monthly? I forgot, are you set up for us to pay by the month, or you want the whole amount?
you can pay by
I
the
mean,
month.
if we sign up for a year, however long the program?
If you sign up for a year, all at once, one lump sum, it's $497. If you don't want to do the lump
Okay.
sum, you can do $47 a month. So you save a little bit of money if you
Okay.
do the lump.
Okay,
Okay.
year. And it's 12 months starting from April or whenever you start the next month.
Whenever it will be 12 months
The year-long
from
program.
whenever you sign up for the year. So if you sign up for the year today, it'll go a year, 12 months from today. Yeah.
Okay.
And so
Okay, thank you.
do it
Thank you.
on that, there's a button on the Play Shop link, and I'll put that link in the, I'll either email it to you or I'll and I'll put it in the Facebook group so that you can have the link to go directly to there. You just click it and pay that way. And if you do the $47 a month
Okay.
button, it'll bill you, or it'll automatically withdraw from your account monthly, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay,
Okay.
so
Thank you very much.
you're welcome. I hope you do it. That would be awesome.
I'm planning on it. Thank you.
Good, good. Okay, so I'm going to, because the topic of the day is who's your who, did anybody have a chance to look at the playbook information I sent out? Read through it? No? Okay, well, Dee read
I
through
didn't
it.
get it.
Okay. I will recap it a bit before I ask you the question, because the question of the day, and I wish Claudia was here. She was so good at timing. I am not good at timing, but I think that because we don't have a whole lot of us here today, we've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of us.
There's
go a little-
seven with you.
Yeah, but I don't count. So you may be able to go a little bit longer than a minute with your answers. And I've got to figure out how to time you. Did anybody else good at timing? I'm not. I'm terrible at timing. You, Dee, are you good at timing?
I'm fine. I just have to go get my phone because it's in another room. So I'll be right back.
Okay.
And then I can use my phone.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. That's great. So while she runs, I'll wait till she gets back to actually start about the question. But defining who you want to attract to your business, to buy your book, to read your book, to come look at your artwork if you put it in a gallery, to buy your artwork if you want to sell it online, to buy your products if you have products to sell online, to take advantage of your services if you are a service-based business, a coach or a healer or whatever you're doing. You need to know very clearly who you want to attract, who you want to do business with, who you want to read your book, who you want to buy your artwork or to look at your artwork in a gallery. So the information in the playbook are exercises for you to figure this out. And then I'm going to go through some other exercises that I pulled up when Mama Red told me she wasn't going to be able to be here. But our question of today is, I would like you to think about your past clients or the people whose interaction with your creative endeavor was as close to perfect as possible. Your best client, the person that made you feel the best about your artwork, or who you have connected with, who is enthusiastic about what you're writing, who has participated or taken you up on your services. Who is your very, very best person? And if you haven't had a very, very best one, think about what the very, very best one would be. And share your experience with this person. You don't have to mention names, but if you want to, mention a name, because you want to share with us and make us see who this person is. And so you want to share the experience and the characteristics of this person, at least the characteristics that made them the perfect client or the supporter of your work. And I want you to tell us why they were perfect and include things, if you can, about perhaps their age, where they lived, what kind of car they drove, did they have children, did they have pets, did that matter? What were they doing in their lives? What their work might be? If they had families, if that was important, what their passions were, what clubs they belonged to, all of this stuff. Flesh this person out for us. Make that person seem as real as possible for us. So this is your experience. Who was this person and what were they like? And to make them the best you've had. And if, like I said, if you haven't had a best one, create a best one. Okay, so who wants to start?
Oh, I will.
Okay, great.
Is it a talking thing or writing?
I'm
Can you-
talking. Can you talk?
Is
Did you
it-
say
it-
1 minute or
talking.
1 minute and a half?
Let's do, what time is it? It's 1:30. Where are we with? Yeah, let's do 1 minute, but if it goes over a little bit, we're not gonna freak out about it. So 1 minute, yeah,
Wow.
time is for 1 minute.
Okay.
And everybody mute
Okay.
themselves except Stephanie. And that way it'll come across better, okay?
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
For me?
Yeah.
Okay,
You're
so
on.
I have a client who is 50, 51, 52. She's my kid's age. She's a Kairos therapy client, and one of my younger son's friend introduced her to me. She had already had one back surgery. This was in her late 20s, early 30s. She was a runner, a swimmer. She's a high school teacher, a yoga instructor, and she was doing all of those things at the time. And she came to me because she's in so much just horrific back pain. And Mark suggested she come, and today he didn't tell her anything about what I did other than go see me. And she trusted me enough. She came down and got 3 sessions in one day, and her back was, I didn't know this. I didn't hear from her for 2 weeks, but all the pain was completely gone. Then she called me and told me that. So she came back and got what we call an intensive 10 sessions. She was facing 2 more back surgery, a low back and a neck pain. And she got another 10 sessions, and I do that work in, I call it an intensive. So it's like in 4 or 5 days, 3, 4, 5 days, I do that many sessions. She went back, she came back for the training, which is an 8-day training, and they give and receive 16 sessions during that time. She was dating a guy and she broke it off, and he wanted to marry her, and a lot of stuff went on, but she's never, 30 some years later, she's never had to have any surgery. She still teaches yoga. She teaches high school. She's got a 12-year-old son who's a soccer player, and she coaches the team, and she and her husband have a phenomenally good marriage, and one of the best marriages I think I've ever heard anybody speak about. And she's never had to have the surgery. I think she's 52 or 53 now, and so this was like late 20s, so it's maybe 20 some years ago. So she now assists me at my training. She's really good with computer stuff and making flyers for me. Okay, my time. So, and she sent lots of people to me. So
Okay, great.
my
So
miracle.
that's
It's hard.
excellent. So what I got from that perfect client, the picture that you painted of that perfect client was that it was a woman, and she's now in her 50s. It sounds like maybe she was between 30 and 50. And that, that's a good niche of ages. Between a woman between 30 and 50, married, happily married, with a child.
Now, she wasn't married at the time. She was going to break up with the guy, and because of the training, she worked through emotional stuff that allowed her to then marry him. Anyway,
Okay.
sorry, just want to clear that up.
Great. Okay. So a person that was having some emotional stress, having pain, and didn't really get into where she lived or much about what her outside activities are, but other than very athletic, yoga, athletic stuff. That's really good, because when we start talking about our avatars, which I'm going to cover after we get through all this, you'll see how this is going to define who you speak to, who you communicate with in your posting, because you want to attract more people like her. Okay, so who wants to go next?
Yeah.
Kim, you go ahead.
Kim, you're muted. You're muted, Kim. Can you unmute her, Susan?
Mike, I'm trying to ask to unmute.
She's muted herself.
I think
There, okay, now
She is.
she's okay.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a second. I
okay.
got booted out. Just a moment. Now I'm back in. Oh my God. That was funny. I clicked on my mouse and suddenly I was gone. This is really hand in glove with what Stephanie's been talking about. My ideal client is 51, and I started seeing her about 4 months ago. Gone through 3 unsuccessful marriages. Was a beauty queen, shall we say, very active in her esthetician work, but suddenly got a concussion in a car accident, lupus, and parasites. So she was very physically ill, but all in all, it was a very strong emotional imbalance in being able to actually feel authentic feelings. And I could tell from the way she came in, her nonverbals were to avoid eye contact, to speak low, to always come in disheveled looking. And over time, with the healing work that I do, I did various acupuncture points that were associated with the tuning fork. So we had sound therapy going through her body based on as if I had needles in her, and she didn't want needles. And then I did Shen therapy, which is the same as Stephanie. And she's now a totally changed person. I don't know what else to say because
Good.
she looks me in the eye.
Perfect. And again, describing her physically and her emotionally is really important for the kind of people that you want to attract. So hold that thought, because you will be using all of that coming up. Great. Okay, so Victoria, do you want to go next?
Okay, I'll give it a try. I'm unmuted, correct? Okay. I have a skincare practice, and it's pretty much maxed out as far as treating new clients. My testimonials on my website reveal that I have a very eclectic group of women I serve. So basically, what I need is women who will go to my website and it calls to her, it's enchanting. And she is a person that's interested in making an investment in herself. She has a desire to be the best version of what she can be. They recognize quality, appreciate experience, and honesty. They'll purchase fine products. They're a woman that's totally engaged in life and has an attitude of an ageless goddess.
Unmute my audio. That was great. And I think that you nailed it with everything you said. And then further, and you hinted at some things that I think you've got to be not so much in how you communicate like you just did, but in your deep dive when you work in your workbook or your playbook, you need to be very frank about their demographic for their economic level. Because your practice isn't inexpensive. And so the women that you want to enchant and attract have to be willing to spend money, have money to spend on the things that you offer. And they have to value those things and know that the quality and the value is in the product and in the service. But you know, the ladies that shop at Walmart aren't going to be coming there, period. That isn't your demographic. That isn't, lots of nice ladies go to Walmart, but they aren't your clients. And so when defining your avatar, shopping at Walmart is not a characteristic. Perhaps shopping at Neiman Marcus's, or perhaps going to Rodeo Drive and, you know, buying Gucci or shopping in Paris, you know, that is what those ladies do or aspire to do. They would not
Actually,
be
that is not,
no.
actually, I do have clients that shop at Walmart. It is an attitude. So by drawing them to my website and they are enchanted by it, I think that if that is what they hold in their heart, you know, each one's beauty is not buying a bunch of products. It might be 2 products, but it's an attitude. So I disagree with, no, I have actually very few people that would shop at Rodeo Drive.
Well, that's
the
my,
truth.
you know, I'm not going to define your client. You are going to define your client. And so being very specific, you have to be very specific. Maybe that was, you know, I'm off base and that's fine. But you can be very specific like that and define it down. And when we do the avatar, when I go over the avatar worksheet, you'll see how that matters. And what you do for that is really personal. You're going to be the one to figure that out, not me.
Okay.
So let's go on to D. Let's mute Victoria. And D, can you unmute?
Okay.
Good.
Okay. I'm going to start my clock and now hopefully I'll remember to stop my clock when I'm done talking. And by the way, Shara just texted me that she had an urgent emergency call. So she'll be back maybe.
I saw that.
Okay.
Okay.
So, okay. I'm working on attracting or enchanting women who would like to be photographed because they have gorgeous tattoos on their body. And I'm interested in women between 25 and 40, sort of millennial age group. And specifically that they can see through the photography, they can find the beauty inside of themselves that maybe they don't feel all the time. Maybe they've gone the tattoo route in trying to struggle with their body image. That's a typical thing I hear. And I'm looking for women that would pay to have me photograph them and then print something just lovely, perhaps wall art. That's my goal. And it's just kind of a small idea within the bigger thing that I do, which is to photograph anybody who wants to come here and be photographed. So I'm trying to specifically name this, the word Susan uses is avatar, to, oops, and my time is up, but to get really clear what I'm going to put out there based on who I think will come. So that's it for me right now.
Perfect.
Okay.
And I won't go any further into that because I think you nailed it. And because I know of your work quite intimately, I think you really are on the right track. And because I know that you've been working on this for a long time. So you know, where you're going with it is right on track. Good. Okay, Teddy, you want to take a turn? I have to unmute. Let's see, ask to unmute.
Yeah. Okay, testing. You can hear me?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my I'm writing a book, and that's what I'm working on, developing a platform for the book. The person that comes to mind that has been the most supportive of my work so far is in her 50s. She's a parent of a special needs child. She's a professional, she's a doctor, and she is also psychospiritually on the same brainwave I'm on. And the book is about parenting special needs child and how you manage your way through the medical world. So, and it's a story, it's basically a true story based on my experience with my daughter that has brought me into doing what I do today, which is helping people with loss, death, and dying. But in this journey for this particular book, it's really focused at this point, and will be focused on the movement from diagnosis to the end result of raising a child in a medical model, and how you do that and how you manage everything else in your life. So it becomes a psycho-spiritual journey as well.
Great. Okay, good. Perfect, and perfect timing. That's excellent. So your ideal reader, and then when you're writing a book and developing a platform for a nonfiction book, which is absolutely essential. Every writers group that I have been in the last year and a half have stressed the necessity for developing a platform for a nonfiction book. Even fiction books these days need a platform, but absolutely a nonfiction book needs a platform. By platform, what a platform is an online presence and a big list of emails of engaged people who will buy your book. And what they say in all of my writers groups that I'm in, what they say is that your email list for a nonfiction book has to be over, oh gosh, it's like, if you're self-publishing, the recommendation is that you have over 2,000 people engaged on your list. That's huge. And if you're getting a book deal from a major publisher, you need an engaged list of over 5,000. I mean, that's ginormous.
Wow.
This is like, So I am also writing a nonfiction book, and I got totally freaked out by this because I have a platform. I have developed a presence online, but my list is not that big. So instead of getting freaked out and overwhelmed by it, I kind of backed off and I said, okay, what can I do? What's reasonable for me to do at age 70? And how am I going to approach this? And it sort of was part of what I did is form this play shop, because you guys are my avatar. You guys are who I want to attract. So this is a part of developing that platform, but also it's like, if I never hit 2,000 people, so what? You know, I will get what I need for me out of the process of developing the platform. So great. So that all of those are so perfect. And so what I will do now is I'm going to share screen, and I'm going to talk a little bit about who's your who and why it matters and what an avatar is. So let me pop up my screen and show you what I pulled up. If I can find it. Okay. Not Facebook. Yeah. Okay. There are many of these out there, and this one is not my favorite, but I couldn't find my favorite. I'm going to move you guys all over somewhere. I'm sorry, I need to see my screen. Oh, well. Okay, so when we are figuring out who our who is, we want to get really specific. And the thing is, our tendency is to want to reach everyone. We think if we need to attract a big list, 1,000 people to buy our book or to come to our website or to come to be photographed or to buy our artwork or come to our practice, that we need to be broad. And that's not true. If we try to sell to everyone, or we try to invite everyone to our party, then what happens is very few will come. And I'll use myself as an example. In writing my book, I really thought 2 years ago that my audience, my avatar audience was going to be millennials. I thought, oh, my book is called Postcards from Paradise, Laptop Lifestyles Around the World. And I thought, well, who's going to be interested in that? It's going to be millennials. It's going to be entrepreneurs who are young and want to do something outside the box with their lives and their businesses using technology. And so I thought that was my audience, but it's not. Millennials don't want to listen to me. I'm their mother. And so it turns out that who wants to listen to me, who comes to me to help them with their marketing, who comes to me with questions about how to do business, who comes to me to create their websites using technology, who comes to me to help them figure out social media and have fun online. It's chronologically gifted creative women. It's not millennials. It's not men. It's not boys. It's not even entrepreneurs all the time. And so trying to reach everybody gets nobody. Niching it down, being very specific, will attract more people because you will know exactly how to talk to them. You will know exactly where they hang out. You will know exactly where your message can reach them and make a difference for them. You can communicate your value to them. So defining your avatar, and I will put links to worksheets that you can use. This is just one that I happened to pull up because it was colorful and I thought that would be good to show you. But this whole thing guides you through. I don't know if you guys can have this. I don't know where to put our pictures, maybe at the bottom. So the first thing that this particular person says, and they're all really about the same, is do your research. By researching, first of all, look at what has worked in the past. Who has come to you in the past that is your best client, or your ideal reader, or the person that you have worked with in the past that is perfect. And that's what we just did in that short exercise. But you can deep dive this even more and really research it. And then there are other ways that you can do research. Some of these things are, I do these kinds of things when I'm hired to do a strategic marketing plan for someone. There are websites that you can go to where you can really get data about who lives in a certain area. I did a plan for a realtor when I was living in Silicon Valley. She was a realtor in Campbell, and she wanted to expand her base to Mountain View, where I happen to live, which was really interesting because I did this deep dive demographic, psychographic research for her on my own zip code. And it was something that I could mine, the data I could mine online. And everybody can do this. I think I had to pay a little bit of money to do it, but it was worth it because it gave me such good information. In the area where she wanted to sell real estate, I discovered that the median age of the people living in my zip code was 30 years old. It was primarily single men, 30 years old. Their income bracket was average $250,000 a year. I lived a mile from Google, and a mile from LinkedIn, and a mile from Microsoft, and a mile from Intuit, 2 miles from Facebook. So here's the demographic of that area. The people buying real estate are young men who are 30 years old, who are making $250,000 a year. There's other information that you can mine as well, or you can figure it out, where they hang out. They hung out at Starbucks. They hung out at the restaurants in downtown Mountain View. I could find out what kind of cars they drove and what kinds of, did they have pets? Most of them didn't. All of this information is really, really valuable in defining your best client, or who you're going to be communicating with to come get your services or your stuff. Then what you do is you look for patterns, and you see, okay, how many of these are men, how many are women, and I found in my research of my own thing is that they're predominantly women. I haven't really done any work for men. I don't think I've done any work for men in 5 years, 6 years since I moved up here. And so my demographic is not, my avatar is not a man. I don't care what age, just not. Then you go and you create your avatar. So here's a chart that kind of shows, and I think I pulled this up big. So let me see if I can find the bigger version of it. Here we go. Okay. These are the kinds of things that you can ask yourself and fill out on your worksheets. Or you can download one of these templates that I'll pull up for you and give you the link to. The personal information, the age, the gender, do they have children? Are they married? Where they live, what their income is, and their education. The professional information, what kind of job do they have? Are they working? Where are they working? The kind of people that work at Google are much different than the kind of people who work at Hewlett Packard. And whether you are, if you're a real estate agent in trying to sell real estate in Mountain View, you are not going to be selling it to somebody who's working at Hewlett Packard. You just won't be. It's the Googlers that are buying real estate in Mountain View. So it was really important for her to understand who she was selling to, who that real estate agent that wanted to expand her practice or her clientele into the Mountain View area. She needed to know who they were. And all of this information here is so valuable. Let's see if I can pull this up. I can't see this because you guys are all on it. This is important part here, the values and their fears. What do they value in their personal or professional life? So you got to kind of get into their heads. This is where empathy comes in handy. What is important to them when considering a product like yours? What objections might they have? What drives their decision-making process? These are all things that you will be thinking about in relation to your own creative endeavor, whatever it is. You need to ask these kinds of questions about the who that you want to attract. Goals and challenges. What are their personal career and their career goals? How do they prioritize these goals? What challenges impact achieving these goals? How could you help with them achieving these goals? What questions do they ask when seeking solutions to these challenges? Write those questions down, because if you have the answers to those questions and you can present in an enchanting way the answers to their questions, and they may not even need to ask the questions if you can come up with the solution before they even, express it. How do they get their information? How do they communicate? Oh boy, this section is really important for when you start posting on social media. How do they get their information? Are they on Facebook? Are they on Instagram? Are they on TikTok? There's no point in, if your demographic, if you define your avatar as somebody who is perhaps in their 20s and you're posting only on Facebook, chances are they won't even see it, because people in their 20s are not on Facebook. Facebook is our age. People in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s are on Facebook, not the youngsters. One or two are, but not a lot. How do they communicate? And this is fascinating too, because words matter. The words you use matter for who you're trying to communicate with. What media do they consume? Here we go, social media. Well, how about, do they read the Union newspaper? Probably if they're of a certain demographic, I would say no, they don't read a physical newspaper. And they probably don't even look at it online. They get their information from other sources. Social media, what do they attend events and conferences? This is really important too, because you may decide that you want to communicate via an event or conference, a speaking engagement at an event or conference, or maybe a booth at an event or conference that showcases what you do. But you don't want to spend the money to do that if your clients don't ever go to that event or conference. Where do they spend their days? Well, lately everybody spends their days at home on Zoom. So that's a good one. Do they have relevant hobbies? It's really important. If they go to the gym, let's say they're bodybuilders or they're into physical fitness and they have a gym membership. You want to know, do they have a gym membership? Are they there a lot? Because that may be the place that you communicate with them. You may want to get on a Facebook group or something where they hang out. And so if they have a relevant hobby, that is important to know. You also want to know all the bad stuff about the potential bad stuff about potential clients, because you want to communicate in such a way, and you want to be so clear about who you want to have come to you, that if somebody comes to you and the fit isn't right, you can either, number one, refer out to somebody else. That's the best thing to do. Or just in a very enchanting and kind and wonderful way, communicate that they aren't the right client for you. There are certain people that you will maybe just find that you don't want. I did all of this work for my previous business, which I had for 35 years. And I had a very clear outline, checklist of who we would work with, who our best clients were, and who we wanted to work with. And in the first conversation that I would have on the telephone with them, when they would call our office, I would be able to just very quickly, just talking to them in maybe 10 minutes, I would be able to know whether they were the correct clients, the correct fit for our company. And part of what I was focused on was their budget. If they wanted to remodel a kitchen and their budget was $10,000, I would refer them out, because I knew that we never did a kitchen remodel for under $100,000. That was our niche. We knew exactly what our services would cost. And so if somebody came to us and wanted us to do something for a very low budget, they weren't our client. I also had clients that were difficult. And over the years, I learned how to have my radar up for clients who wouldn't pay me. And that was really important because I would rather, in a 15-minute conversation, figure out if they fit my ideal avatar. And if they didn't, and there were red flags going up that they would be one of these clients that didn't pay me, I would refer them out or kindly say that, that we didn't have any openings at the moment for new clients, or some kind of way to nicely steer them away, because there's no point in getting involved with somebody that's going to be a pain in the butt. And so this negative stuff is as important as the positive stuff, I think. I'm going to check my agenda and my time because I don't want to run over. What time is it? It's 12. Okay. So I think I will wrap up this screen share piece with the avatar, and I'm going to switch now back to, well, first of all, before I switch back, what I had planned to do when Mama Red was going to be doing this part of the Who's Your Who, and I don't know exactly what she was going to present, so I've asked her if she could record what she was going to present when she's feeling better, and I'll put that up in the library so that you can watch her. And then I was going to switch gears and go over to Facebook and give you a tour of Facebook. So before I do that, is there anybody have any questions? Raise your hand. And if you don't, I'll switch on over to Facebook. No questions? Good. If you come up with questions, put them in the group, the Facebook group, and ask me there, and I will elaborate. So switching over to Facebook. Okay. So my plan was to give you a tour of Facebook, and I want to set this up so that I can see the whole thing. Okay. What I did this morning was I recorded a short, I don't think it was very short. I think it turned out to be almost an hour long video about setting up your settings in Facebook. So what I've decided to do is a bunch of these recorded step-by-step videos, and I'll put those in the library as well, so that you can go back to them and follow them along and stop them when you need to stop them and do your own setup following the videos that I'm creating for you. But what I want to do now is just give you a tour of Facebook. And like I said earlier, I think I said it either here or I said it on when I recorded that piece earlier this morning. Facebook is huge. Facebook is the biggest social media platform in the world. Facebook owns Instagram and WhatsApp. Both of those are very important platforms that you may or may not ever use, but we will be going over them later. But for now, we're going to go over Facebook, and I'm going to make this tour not go deep. We're not going to go deep right now because I don't think most of you are going to be using the deep, very rich parts of Facebook yet. You may in the future, and that'll be great. But for now, you just need the very basics. So touring. When you open up Facebook, and all of you, I think, have Facebook accounts. Some use them more than others. Some are probably set up perfectly and some are probably needing to have some work. So I'm going to guide you around how you manipulate through the parts of Facebook that I think you will be using first. So Croy, when you open up Facebook, you have this bar across the top. Now I'm on a desktop right now. I'm not on a phone. If you're on your cell phone, it looks differently. It looks different. I highly recommend doing your setup and getting used to Facebook on a laptop or a desktop if you can. Next best would be an iPad or a tablet of some sort, mainly because of the size. You know, we're all not spring chickens here, and looking at tiny little stuff on a phone is difficult. And when it's got so much stuff on it and it looks different, it'll look different on an iPhone, it'll look different on an Android. But this is on a Mac, this is what I see on my desktop. So across the top here, there's a search bar. That's good to know because there are times that you want to get someplace fast, and that's what you want to use as your search. This little house is your home feed. And I'm going to click on that and you'll see what happens. Maybe. Come on. There you go. So when you click on this little house, it's your home feed. It's not your profile. It's your home feed. This home feed will show you a bunch of stuff that's being posted every minute. There's Dee's. Dee posted this morning, 1 hour ago, and she posted a happy birthday to her daughter. You scroll down, you can see other things that other people posted in my feed. My feed will look different than your feed. Your feed is dependent upon who you're connected with. You only see things in your feed from your friends that you're connected with, or sometimes friends of friends. I have a lot of friends. I do not see things in my feed from all those friends every day. I get a variety of stuff. You will see things in your feed with people that you engage with. So Dee engages with her daughter probably more often than she engages with my husband. So she probably sees things that her daughter posts more often than she sees things that my husband posts, maybe. Unless she and my husband interact and engage on each other's posts, then those posts will turn up in the feed. So the more engagement that you have with your friends, the more likely it is that their stuff will pop up in your feed. Over here on this side, on the left side, when you're on this home icon, you see your profile picture here. If I was to click on this, it would go to my profile, and I'll do that in a minute, but I'm just going to run through this stuff now. If you click on this, it'll take you to a page where you see all of your friends. If you click on this one, it will take you to a list of all the pages that you, I think it may be, let me see. I don't know if it's the pages that you've liked or no, it's the pages that you manage. So you guys probably don't manage any page. Well, Dee does. Dee has a page. Victoria has a page. So I have a lot of pages. So I manage a ton of pages. as you can see, and there's more. But 25 pages I manage, sorta. I don't manage them all very well. So going back, I'm going to go hit the back button so I can just go back to what we were looking at before. That's where you see the pages that you own. Groups. This is another good one to know. These are the groups that you manage. And you see where it says three new? That means that there are 3 new notifications in the groups that I manage. Probably Posting with Purpose is where these 3 new posts came up. I don't know, but if I click on this, you'll see all the groups I manage. Oh, it's not just manage, it's all the groups I'm in. So this is important to know. If you're in groups and you want to see what's going on specifically in those groups, you want to click on that group link in that on the left side, the left side, groups. So if I want to see what's happening in Katerina's group, I would click this and I could quickly see all the posts in the groups. Marketplace, this is Facebook Marketplace is the relatively new. They just launched it in, I think it was October. They launched Facebook Marketplace. That's where you can sell stuff and buy stuff. And it's competing with Etsy. It's competing with Shopify. It's competing with your own online shop. So that's Facebook Marketplace. See more, there's more here. What else do they have here? Oh, yes. You can see they have a lot of stuff. I don't think that you need to, I don't need to walk you through every single one of these, but if you clicked on that, and let's say you wanted to find out more information about COVID-19, you'd click there. That's what you would get. If you want to find out about events happening, either that you've signed up for or that Facebook thinks you should know about, based upon your activity on Facebook. So if I clicked on events, it probably would take me to events planned by Nevada County Arts Council, because I visit that group and I'm interested. I sign up for events in that group. So they're going to tell me what new events are coming up in different groups. All kinds of stuff here. Right now, I think the only thing you need to know is that this is where you find a way to get to all these places is when you're on this icon, home, and you get this page. On this side, you've got some ads. This tells you my pages. So if I clicked on this, there it would go directly to all the pages that I manage. As you can see, there's 2 ways to get there. You can get there this way. You can get there this way. You can also get there up here. I could put in here Posting with Purpose in the search, and I would get to that group. Contacts. Oh, I don't know exactly how they differentiate between contacts and friends. I think that these must be connected with Messenger, that I've spoken to these people recently. Birthdays, it announces friends' birthdays on this page, so that if I want to wish Betty Ann Green a happy birthday, I know it's her birthday today, so I can do that. So this is a home page. This is just sort of to get your your head around your feed and what's going on with Facebook today. This one is videos. I'm not going to go into that one right now. This one is Marketplace. So here we have Marketplace up here. We also have Marketplace here. So if you wanted to go shopping, you could click there or you could click here. This one is groups. So I'm in a lot of groups and I click here if I want to see my groups and what's going on in my groups. So here's recent activity in my different groups. There's also over on this side, you can see groups that I manage, and there's a whole list of them. And these are groups that I'm in and where I participate. You probably, those of you who live in Nevada County are familiar with Nevada County Peeps, Grass Valley Peeps. Those are ones that I go to frequently. This one is one that I'm active in. You know, there's different groups, and groups are something that I will be talking to you more about, because I think that the things that you will be most interested in with Facebook and will help you the most in the beginning are being your profile, your page, which is for your business, and groups like Posting with Purpose. How are we doing on time? We're running out. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly go over to this one. I don't even know what this one is. Gaming. I'm not, this is one I've never opened. I'm not interested in gaming. So I don't go there. You know, it's there. It's probably very beefy, good place for people who love gaming to go, but it's not me. Here is my profile. I'm going to click that in a minute. And then I just want to show you, this one is for Messenger. So if I wanted to talk to Dee or Kim, like Kim, I had to send her stuff in Messenger today because the email wasn't working. So this is how I get to my Messenger. And this is my notifications. These are all the things that have come up while we've been talking, and, you know, I can click on any of these. This is how I keep current with what's going on Facebook. I get a lot of notifications. I go through them very quickly. I don't respond to all of them. And then this one is really important. And this is what I did the video about, which I will put in the library. This is how you set up your settings. Very, very important. Settings and privacy. This is probably the most important, and it's very big. And so I made that special video of just this one section. And I'm going to be making more that get deeper into this section, because this is how you control your presence on Facebook. And it's important for you to be in control and to know that you have control. You are not under the control of Mark Zuckerberg. Contrary to the disinformation that's been put out all over Facebook, Facebook does not control you. Facebook is very transparent about the controls that they have over you, which are minimal, and the control that you have over your own presence on Facebook. You have control, but you have to know how to have control. And that's what's in this section here. And what I have made one more video today, and I'll post it, and I'm going to make some more. It's also areas where you can have, you can set up your experience on Facebook, and you can also get help if you get, if you have trouble. So I'm going to quickly go to this because we got to wrap up. And this is your profile. Everybody has their profile. When you get an account on Facebook, it is personal. This is your personal account. And you do have control over what happens and who comes visit you and who you let into your leased home. So a week ago, I talked about the internet as a whole, and I said your website is your home. You own your website. You have complete control over your website. It is your home. Facebook is like renting a gigantic, well, it's like renting or leasing a couple different places, but you're not paying any money. You're leasing it for free. And it's huge what they give you for free. What they give you for free first, what you're leasing first, is your personal space. And this is your personal space, your profile. You can make this look however you want, and I'm going to do a video about how you set up your information about who you are or what you do, edit your profile. I have a lot of stuff. I probably don't need all of this. I'm probably going to pare it down, maybe. But some of this is important to me, that people know that I was, that I owned Spectrum Fine Homes, that I was a press reporter for Wisdom 2.0. That probably is TMI for you guys. You don't care if I was a press reporter for Wisdom 2.0, but you can make sure that if I want to be a reporter for Wisdom 2.0 again, that I want Wisdom 2.0 to know that I was a reporter for them, several years ago. My radio work is important to me. Some of this stuff is not important. So I'll probably pare this down, and you can choose to have nothing there. Some people have nothing. I'll do another video about how to set that up. I'll also do another video and walk you through everything here because we don't have time right now. But this is your personal profile. The other places that you will want to know about and that I'll go into deeper with another video is your page. And I'm going to go over to Victoria's page because Victoria didn't even know she had a page. So let's see. I will put it in the search. Oh, wrong keyboard. No, I don't want that. I want aesthetics. Okay, so you can see I start typing it in. I've been there before. Facebook remembers that. And I click there, and I'm going to go over to a business page. A business page is separated from your personal profile. It's like what they talk about in the business world, a corporate veil. What you do on your page is separate from your personal profile. And if you're in business, I believe you should have a personal page. Now, I come up with a lot of stuff that you probably wouldn't see if you went to Victoria's page because I manage her page. So I see, as an owner on this page or a manager, I see a lot of stuff here that you don't see on your own, or I wouldn't see if I went to Dee's. If I go to Dee's page, it'll look different than this because I'm not a manager on it. But it's important, I think, for all of you to have a page, and I will go through how to set up a page And then it's important what you post on your page. So once you have your purpose for posting and you're really clear about how you want to present yourself and the presence that you want to create for the creative endeavor that you're on, that will determine what you post and how it looks. And as you can see, I've posted several things on Victoria's page that are very much branded to her website and to her Instagram. They're all branded, same logo, same background, same fonts. And then the posts that I've put all have to do with her values, her vision, her mission. And it all is consistent. So we will be getting deeper into the page that each of you can create, and I will help you with that. And then the other thing, oh, it's already up here, is the groups. Now, participating in groups is really, I think, important in positioning yourself and developing a presence. And in the case of having a group, it really is a tool or a toy that enhances whatever you're trying to do. But you guys probably aren't ready for that yet. But what you are ready for is making sure that you come and visit this group as frequently as you can. And because I post on this daily, there's new stuff every day. So yesterday I posted, how are you doing with your Playmate profile? Some of you have turned it in, some of you haven't. So I posted a picture of it. You don't have to type into it. You could just type into an email the information and I will put it up for you. Also, I posted an announcement about this meeting with a link so that you could click on it and go right there from here. So our group, this is our Facebook group that when you're a Playmate, you have access to. Ginny posted pictures of her artwork, which is really exciting because that's what she's focusing on developing a presence for. Mama Red posted some memes with some inspiration. The group is fun. And you don't have to do much except go there, visit. Dee will tell you what you will be learning is like, comment, share. On a group, you can't share. I've set this up as a private group. You can't share out of it, but you can like it. And you can like it, you can love it, you can care about it, you can laugh at it, you can say, wow, you can be sad, you can be angry. All of those things just by a click. And you can comment. And comments are really important because on Facebook, engagement it's all about engagement. If you don't engage or you don't have people engage with you, you'll go nowhere. It's just, it'll be dead in the water. So the more comments that you put in here, the better. And then when you're on your own page or your own profile, or I'm on Dee's page and I see something that I want to share, I share it out because it's like, comment, share. That's our mantra for social media. You have to engage. You have to get engagement. I think I put a picture. Oh yeah, here. The picture of our rumpus room. Like, comment, share. Here's the Playmates. You can go to the rumpus room by clicking on the link. And here's where I believe I've set it up so that you have to have a password. I'll give you the password. But this group and groups on Facebook are wonderful organizational tool and communication tool and way to develop presence. It's just a great thing to know about groups. Okay, so we're running way over, and I will, let me see, how do I get back to, I don't know how I get back to Zoom. Okay, come on. Here we are up here. Go back. I'm gonna stop share. Okay, here we are, back again. Okay, so that today was kind of a hodgepodge. I'm sorry, I was kind of not too organized. Having to deal with last minute changes was a challenge, but I think I got through it. I'm only 10 minutes past. Anybody have any questions that you want me to respond to right now? Or if you want to put questions into the Facebook group, that would work as well. Was this totally overwhelming? No? Yeah? Okay. You can unmute yourself if you'd like. And
What is the password?
I'll put it in the group so that you'll be able to have it written down. And so that's
When you say the group, what do you say the group?
in the Facebook group.
What area of the group?
I'll post it, right? I'll make a post and I'll say, this is the password on the
Thank
Facebook
you.
group. So you'll see it. I'll make a meme that will be noticeable. And
Okay.
and that way you'll be able to get in there. Let's see. The only thing I wanted to, let me see in my wrap. I think I covered all this stuff in the beginning. Yeah, invite. I would love it if you would invite. Thank you, Dee, for inviting Teddy, and I hope you come back, Teddy. And these meetups are free. I will try to keep them to the hour and a half. They've set it up so that if you want to hang out after I finish the recording, I'll stick around for another half hour just to schmooze. I think I will turn the recording off now. And
I have to